snacks.
What it do, snackers and snackettes? It's your boy Gage. That's the boy Jokes.
Yo!
That's the boy Sins.
What's up?
This is Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and talk about things that are happening in pop culture. This week, we're going to talk about the importance of E3 or lack thereof. We'll decide, I guess, why we have that conversation. And then we're going to talk about the future of the X-Men. How we feel about it, what we think about it, all that jazz. So we'll get into that. So let's start with E3. Gentlemen. So E3 was last week. Personally, I felt like overall E3 was pretty solid.
Agreed.
I enjoyed it. How'd you guys feel overall?
Felt the same way.
Agree. Agree.
I don't think there was any, I don't want to say complete letdowns, but I would just say...
You was let down a little though?
Not necessarily let down. You know, when you... We've had a conversation, that's a whole nother scenario. We won't dive deep into that. But,
Who let you down?
Right. Can you just say
Who
it?
let you down?
You said you was let down a little bit. Who let you down?
Who let you down?
What were you let
it
down?
was kind of like with the conversation that we were having about the Avengers game, how, you know, we got the decent cinematic or whatnot ever, but it pretty much made the game look like it was fake.
No, I'm telling you what's hilarious. Listen, I understand where B's coming from all that stuff, but I keep like reading people like, yeah, we got to see the demo behind stage and like watch people play. Like, so,
yeah.
So there is gameplay that only y'all got to see, but in the same way.
They didn't play it though. They saw
They watched somebody play it. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, so supposedly it's there, and then, you know, goddamn.
Yeah, I heard joints that said like the Black Widow gameplay looked real bad, but like Cole's gameplay looked like it was fun. You know, whatever. Still, nobody seems to be able to tell us what the game
Definitively
is.
what it is.
How does the game work?
I saw a joint today on IGN, like story mode is only single player. Then when I started reading through it, it like almost verbatim was the gargle that dude was spitting on stage. It was almost verbatim on IGN what dude was saying. I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, like, nah, I'm not feeling that.
That was so you're disappointed in what they did show, what you got to see, and what the explanation of the game is. I understand that. But overall
though, other than that piece of the tidbit, I was perfectly fine with E3.
I mean, EA disappointment, but they've been kind of like that way the past few years. Like,
we're expecting more?
No, honestly, that's why I didn't watch it. I didn't miss a thing. Like, Star Wars was the biggest thing. They showed that beforehand. They showed it in their conference. Everything else, you know, was supposedly like FIFA, Madden, like that. I'm done.
I know it's important to some people.
It is.
Most certainly.
They probably had somebody awkward come up stage, on stage, a professional, somebody to talk and make it awkward and weird. You know,
they didn't, because I mean, that's the thing about this year. This year was different. I think that's why the question is in the air. I guess that's why I'm posing it. So let me like kind of frame this out. So this year was different from E3s of the past, specifically because a lot of people who generally have a presence at E3, a lot of the major companies that have a presence at E3 on the show floor or have a press conference chose not to do so this year. So EA was one of them.
Right.
EA normally, even though EA has been outside of E3 for like 3 or 4 years now, they've been doing EA Play the weekend before, having their own event at a separate location. They've still done a press conference. This year they chose not to do a press conference. And instead of doing a press conference, they decided that they were just going to do live streams. And they were upfront about saying, here's what you're going to see in the live streams. From this time to this time, it's 4 half-hour live streams. From this time to this time, it's Star Wars. From this time to this time, it's Madden. From this time to this time, it's FIFA. And from this time to this time, it's whatever else it was. Then people were upset because it was like, wait a minute. You're not even showing Anthem? Like, it's like, well... Then it was like, don't get us wrong. Anthem is there. It is at EA Play. You can come, you can play it. You can see the new Cataclysm thing. But they did a whole stream for Anthem like the Thursday before that. So they were like, there's really no reason to do another one, you know, or whatever. But they didn't do the traditional thing, which is have a press conference where they bring the awkward old sports figure or some odd unknown, not really a rapper on there or something,
or
like
some young new big sports guy who can't talk that well in front of everybody.
Yeah, just like so that wasn't there. I don't necessarily think it was bad for EA. Basically, what they said they were going to do, they did. The one big thing that they had to show, they showed. That was all I really cared about, and most of the people who were reporting about it or talking about it or whatever were happy with Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. So the other thing was Sony pulled out of E3 completely, right? So no press conference from them, no presence at all on the show floor, no booth, no nothing, right? From Sony specifically. Activision pulled out, not on the show floor at all. They don't do a conference.
Right.
But they weren't on the show floor at all, right? So I think for people who have been going to E3 for years, when you went to the show floor, it seemed very different. It looked different. Maybe things felt like it was missing, right? Because Microsoft, also not on the E3 show floor, right? Last year, they kind of did the same thing. There was no Xbox booth on the show floor last year at E3. They changed it and did a Mixer booth. Mm-hmm. They had Mixer last year in the space where it's normally Xbox. This year, they did everything at their own space in the Microsoft Theater, which is basically across the street, right? Like literally across the street, which makes sense for them. Why spend that money
when you got your own
giving
building?
It to somebody else, literally across the street.
Yeah, you're literally like
right.
Yeah,
guys, when you're done,
one crosswalk over and you can go to all the Microsoft stuff. Yeah.
So I think going into E3, there were a lot of concerns and questions about what is E3 and is it going to last and do we still need it, and you know, it's becoming more of a consumer show than it has been in the past. Traditionally, E3, it's a trade show. It's a show for buyers at stores to come to and see what the big games are going to be for the fall so they can place their orders and say, okay, we need to order this many or whatever. That's where pre-orders came from, all that kind of stuff. It has recently turned into
over the years
more of a thing, not even a consumer-based event at first, but eventually the companies, the Sears, the Toys R Us's, the Best Buys, whatever, decided, look, we need more information to be able to make a solid decision about what purchases we want to make for the holiday, which is why they started bringing the press, and they became press conferences and press briefings. You know what I mean? They're not just a stage conference or a show. It's a press conference, which means it's for the press. It's not really for us. It's for them to be able to go in and to write about it and talk about it, give their impressions of it, get feedback from readers, viewers, whatever, and that's information that then the buyers take to make the decisions about what they do. Over the last couple of years, they have opened it up to fans. It's a little bit more like PAX. It ain't PAX, but it's a little bit more like PAX or Gamescom or something like that.
I think that helps too, as far as, like you said, like having like the big, like the Sears and all those people come in, then adding press. I think adding people like us in as well.
Sure,
it definitely helps.
And stuff like that.
It definitely helps make that decision. Like, okay, press is saying this, but all these diehard fans are saying, nah, this is the one that we're looking forward to. Yada yada. This is the one you need to have on the shelves come this fall. Stuff like that. Yeah. It's a thing. It's a thing.
As a whole, I think if you were viewing it from home, as we generally do, it wasn't very different. It didn't feel very different.
That's what I was going to say.
I personally did not miss Sony at all.
I didn't either.
Because they were there.
Oh, in certain games.
You know what I mean?
Like, like that's what I said when we sat down and did the whole E3 thing. Like, I didn't miss them. Yes, I want to see them there. Like, thinking more back
I feel like they should be there.
Yeah, like thinking more back on what you said about it, I agree. Yeah, yes, they should be there. But I didn't miss them.
Me either.
During the conference.
Yeah.
I didn't miss
I felt as though they added the element, who's going to one-up each other, Microsoft or PlayStation.
Right.
Like, it was just always, which one goes first, who's going second, who's going to be the one.
Who's going to take shots at the other, like...
Exactly. That's one of those cool aspects to see, but, just like you, wasn't a big miss for him to be there. Not after last year, because last year, the thing that they did for... What did they...
I think they missed out by not being there.
Yeah,
I certainly think Sony missed out by not being there.
No, I
don't think we missed out by Sony not being there.
No,
I think Sony missed out by not being there.
I agree. And
even Phil Spencer said that, because Phil Spencer was like, we kind of missed the having the.
He said specifically he thinks it's important for them to be there. Like, he thinks it's important for all of the big players to be there. I think so too.
And just talk to us.
I think the consumers are looking for it. That's, you know what I mean.
Like we said, it's our Super Bowl.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
So we want to see.
We want
to see all our players in the Super Bowl.
The good, the bad, like just.
You know what? I get you may not have that much to give us this holiday.
It's the Super Bowl. Honestly, maybe it's more like the All-Star game. You know what I mean? Like,
they might feel a little better.
Yeah, like
everybody coming to one place to show off what they got coming.
Yeah, I mean, as a whole, I think E3 is safe. Like, I think it's okay. I think the landscape is changing, but I think part of that is, yes, these publishers and developers have a way to reach us via internet.
Social media.
So easily now that while I love the idea of them saving things,
of course,
for the conference, you know what I mean, having big reveals. Like, you can't get something like a Keanu reveal that the way it happened.
No.
Certainly, CD Projekt Red could have dropped that trailer and people would have been like, did you see that Keanu Reeves is in such and such? But the impact that it had in the moment.
That was perfect.
Then he walked out.
That was perfect.
That's what I mean. Well, that's what I mean.
That's perfect. Yeah. That's something you save for E3. Like, you know what, let's reach out to, let's see if we can reach out to Keanu, see if he'll come to E3.
Correct.
And we can do the whole thing together on the stage.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Dope.
Like, that's what moments like that are built for a stage, for a show, for everybody who's there and for those who are watching. It's just super important. So I think E3 is safe. I think it's okay. I kind of like the way it's changing. I'm okay. But I certainly, as I've told y'all post-show, you won't see that unless you're a Patreon member, so keep that in mind. Patreon.com/LoadSnacks.
Hey!
But Sony should be there. And I completely expect them to be there next year, obviously, because they should be, talking about hardware.
Their hardware is ready.
New system.
They should be talking about hardware. So, we'll see how that goes. You guys in agreement? We're good on E3. I think.
I completely agree with E3. Like, if you're there, I can understand why you might feel things are different, things are changing or whatever. But for the people, say like you said, sitting at home with all our friends, we got food, we got pizza, we're watching. Like, it felt no different.
Right.
Agreed.
It felt no different. It's what we love. Yeah.
Right. Next step is just actually attending at least one time. I like to get the experience at least once.
I agree.
If anything, just for something different. Like, we watch it at home. You know what? It'd be cool to sit in some of those conferences and be able to, we're sitting here, but
I would love to go to one.
But as a whole, it's
I think it's safe too.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, so let's talk about the X-Men. I'm gonna start by letting you speak on how you feel about Dark Phoenix as the last film, technically, of that run of films.
So we're talking about the movie franchise and the comics, or just comics?
The movie franchise. I mean,
fair enough. I just wanted to.
We're probably gonna end up talking about comics a little bit too, but yeah.
So Dark Phoenix. So I was okay with Dark Phoenix. By all means, I didn't think it was the best. I mean, it's hard to say. It wasn't the best of them. It wasn't the worst of them.
What's the best?
I was about to say that. What's the best?
If you say it, now you gotta back it up, bro.
Nah, it's gonna be if we're taking we're gonna take First Class and First Class.
Yeah,
in there.
all those.
I gotta put it between First Class and Days of Future Past.
Do you include the Logan, like the Wolverine movies in that, or no?
No, we'll just stick to
just
X-Men.
The ones that are X-Men.
We'll just stick X-Men team up movies. Team movies. We'll stick with that.
Hold on? Are you good with that?
So First Class being the best, and Days of Future Past being the worst.
Oh no! No, those are the top. No,
those are the top two too.
Yeah.
Those are the top two.
Yeah, top. Days of Future Past at the bottom. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So was
that where the confusion came in for a second? Okay.
So what's the worst one in the X-Men franchise?
X3.
Okay, and this Dark Phoenix goes where in between those two?
I'm gonna put Dark Phoenix. So how many? Let's do this. How many in total? So three X,
X3. Yeah, First Class, Days of Future Past,
Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix.
Apocalypse is garbage.
Yeah, that's absolutely at the bottom.
Garbage.
I'm gonna put I would put Dark Phoenix in the middle. Like, so probably 4 or 5 probably.
Okay. Right in the middle, right there in the middle. Okay.
I just think it was similar concept of the story. I mean, Jean has the powers, they show up, so it's nothing spoilers to tell you how Dark Phoenix comes out.
I mean, I don't need a whole synopsis of the film. Right. I just want to know, having seen it, feeling like where they are,
where they ended it.
What do you think the next thing that needs to happen for the X-Men is? Like, even if let's imagine for a second that they don't ever put them in the MCU. That they that's what everybody keeps talking about. But to me, you don't need to do that. I mean, there can be an X MCU.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or the MCU where the M is mutant. Like, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe they don't have to cross paths. They don't have to be. You can say that they're still in the same world,
right?
But it can be its own franchise of films if they decide to go that route. What is next for them?
I would be cool if they get more of the cameo feel. So making reference to the X-Men, you know, maybe
but not a full film.
Maybe not necessarily a full. I would like to see another X-Men full film, not for a good while now. I think it would be a complete reboot. Maybe different characters. Like, don't get me wrong, like having your Wolverines, having your Cyclops. At some point, you know, I would like to see them at least have them mention, and say if maybe another Avengers movie comes out. And maybe, you know, obviously they're going to probably be fighting in New York at some point in time. Maybe, you know, the fight goes closer to where the X-Men is, and maybe, hey, Wolverine or Cyclops, one of them just jumps in for a quick second because they're about to hit home turf. And then they're just like, okay, you guys go ahead and do what you're going to do, but we got to go back and defend
whatever.
X-Men.
You only
whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
But you don't want to see another full film.
At least not
What's the time frame? What are we talking?
I would say 5 years. 5
years.
5 years probably be the good reboot thing. I think that'll get
basically enough time for them to get through phase 4.
Mm-hmm. And I think that'll give enough time for, like, taking the bad taste out of people's mouths with the last few movies and probably trying to redo. I think at this point it's just going to be a whole reboot, starting from fresh again. I would like them to see them do something more closer to what the animated series was. Kind of give us the
92?
feel of 92. Give us more of a feel like that. I mean, just like we know the MCU, depending on, like, it's its own universe, but we know at this point now they're trying to tie it into the 616 and all that. So it wouldn't be surprising if they tried to do that. I know the 92 X-Men is kind of their own universe, but
I want whatever we're going to call it, XCU. I think that's what I want. I want an XCU.
XCU.
Like, separate from Avengers and all that. Like, there's enough characters, storylines, and, like, lore with just the X-Men and their universe itself to where eventually, if it becomes a thing and it becomes a hit, maybe we can have a crossover like Avengers vs. X-Men or something later down the line, something like that. But I would rather them
20 years.
That's what I'm
I'm not even joking.
No, because you have to build it all up. Yeah, like
because you need all the characters who are dead or old or gone or whatever now to really have an X-Men versus. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have a Avengers versus X-Men, like, you need those characters.
No lie. The only other thing that I would like to see happen if they were going to do that is probably fit in House of M. Like, I really think that would be a real interesting twist on how to really truly introduce the X-Men into the world.
I mean, yeah, we talked about that before. Like, that to me would have been the way to introduce them into the MCU, and it's still possible, right? But you know, what else? What else?
Say, like, we could do the whole. Like, I don't even know the whole storyline, but I would like to see it come to life. That whole Cyclops becoming bad. Like, I don't even know all that, but
that's after Avengers vs. X-Men.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's just so much story there. Let's just do their own thing separate from what the Avengers and all them are doing. Let's just put them in their own category and them do their XCU or, like I said, whatever we're gonna call it. That's what I would like to see from them in the future. 5-10 years maybe down the line, start doing that. Like, let's get.
Who do you? So let me ask you this, because y'all already know. Like, we've talked about this before, where I don't really want to see the X-Men.
Right.
Like, I'm past that. Give me Excalibur. Give me X Factor. Give me X Force. Give me any of the other X teams. Give me a team full of mutants. I'm cool with that. We don't need to focus on the X-Men anymore. Those characters are old and played and used and done. And let's create some distance. It's okay if they exist. You know what I mean? You can talk about them. You can say that they're there. You can mention Professor X. You can mention the mansion. Whatever other things that you want to do to say that it's within the same universe. But there are so many characters that are mutants, that have the abilities, that have stories, that have whatever that can be told that aren't the ones we've already heard over and over and over again. I don't need a Cyclops, and I don't need a Wolverine, and I don't, whatever. But who? Who carries the franchise? Who do we move to? Do we do X-23 because we can't do Wolverine? I mean, what do we do?
One possible option is possibly Jubilee. Now, I say that I know it's funny. Her powers are weak. We all agree. Like, but it's more so like how she came to be with the X-Men and all that kind of stuff. Might be a great starting point to go with.
You do that as a solo, like you just, you know what I mean, like, because like funny you say that because I was thinking like Kitty Pryde, like we did see Kitty,
yeah,
but it's tied in with the Juggernaut, like it's like we saw, you know what I'm saying, but like a Kitty and Lockheed, because when Kitty came in the 80s, their stories are basically the same as far as them being the young one who were underage, the teenager that gets brought into this team.
Dealing with being a mutant and
I mean, Kitty was a little, I guess, more reluctant. Jubilee was like, I'm trying to get down, and it was like, nah, dog, you're not ready. Or maybe that was secret, like, nah, dog, your powers are weak. Like, I don't know. But like a Kitty and Lockheed could be really tight. They've already like, you know, people have been introduced to Colossus through Deadpool.
True.
The whole love story thing with the two of them, like you could use that to kind of get, or maybe tell stories about individual character that knows them, talks about them, but isn't doing something. It doesn't have to be a movie directly about them. There's a possibility. Jubilee's tricky.
She is.
I like Jubilee.
I do too. But we admit her. I mean, her powers.
She needs an evolution.
She does.
She needs an evolution of power in the comics.
She does.
And so they can try to use that. Yeah.
She does.
First.
I would like to see a more adult version of her, but after her powers have altered and now she's like a badass. You know what I'm saying? She might be running her own team. Like that would be kind of
like dope. I mean, like you gotta have like a solid villain, right? Because like the thread for what's been done with the MCU, you know, with having Cap and so forth, was that like, yes, they all had solid villains. I would say Thor. Did Thor have the weakest villains? I mean, Loki wasn't a weak villain. But the first Thor movie wasn't about Loki.
No.
It was the Destroyer. Like, it was like, it was like not really about that. Loki was the big bad, though, in the long run. The first Avengers film that tied into to Thanos. But, like, who do you gotta have a solid villain. For
an ensemble film or just for a solo?
Well, nah, even a solo.
Either way, but even a solo film, like you need. I mean, look, I'm not saying you can't do a love story, right? Like you could do like off the strength of Captain Marvel. You could do a rogue.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can now.
Like you could do a standalone rogue, bring in a couple of characters that she meets on that trip.
Maybe that could be her. That could be the one that starts the X-Men.
It could be. It could be that like she's got powers and these other people.
And that's how they tie into the same world with Captain Marvel. Like,
hey, that's
a possibility.
That's a good one.
And we can finally get the rogue that we deserve.
The 92
the rogue we deserve on the big screen.
Not that I like Anna Paquin. I do. I like Anna Paquin.
That's fine.
But that's not the like. That's but if Anna Paquin could fly and punch hard, I would like her better. A little bit different. Like, it would have been better. Let's just keep it a stat. You know what I mean? Like that could be a thing.
It could be a problem. That actually could. It could be a problem.
And we could fix Rogue.
Yes. I need the people not in comics to understand that Rogue you saw.
That's not it.
That's not it.
That's not the one.
That is not it.
So you know what? I was gonna say y'all tell us who you, but I don't care anymore. I think we figured it out.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. That's the one.
Don't tell us. We don't care.
We fixed it.
I think we figured it out.
Hey Kevin,
now,
we got you over
check
here.
this out. Who do you cast?
Oh, no, that's.
I got to sit and think about that one.
Oh man, yeah, that's.
I got to sit and think about that one.
So that's what I need to know.
See, he knows Rogue is my heart. So I got to sit and think about that one.
I know. And there's got to be a love interest that gets the life knocked out of him off that first kiss. We gotta have a young joint and an older joint.
Yes.
Maybe in the same movie. But can we build a franchise out of Rogue? Can we get 3 movies? Do we need to? Can we do a single, like 3 different characters?
You know what?
and tie them all
together.
I think that might be the way to go. We don't need, if we're doing an X-Men thing and they already in the beginning are established as a team, one-offs might be good enough.
They're all in them.
With other people,
they're in them,
just
but they're not the focus.
Yeah,
but they're not the focus.
Cameos or whatever.
Yes, maybe a one-off. Yeah.
All right, y'all let us know who should play the new Rogue.
Boom.
Powerhouse. Lifting weights.
And I'm gonna go through all your comments to find out who y'all suggesting to play my baby.
He gonna slice and dice him.
That's facts. Y'all tell us who you think should play Rogue. I mean, whether you agree with us, don't need that. Just tell us who you think should play Rogue.
Exactly.
And then tell us how you feel about E3. With that, we're out. Toodles and loos. What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? If so, all I need you to do is like, share, and subscribe. Then hit the ding-a-ling bell so you get a notification every time we upload a new video. Then shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks where you can support us. Then click this video or click this video. Now, who got snacks? Anybody? Who got snacks?
I do.